Hello guys. When it comes to bourbon, there is one part of the bourbon making that we never actually consider. We're here to talk about yeast. I know we can make a lot of joke about yeast, but truly, yeast is probably the most important part when you're making bourbon, right? Because without the yeast, can you really make the whiskey or the bourbon? I've heard some distiller talk about yeast sometime as a person. A yeast is an organism just deriving from the family of the mushrooms and can itself take its own temperament, its own style. When it comes to making bourbon, there is only one bourbon that I know that have used yeast at the best of their ability, to the point where they have their own proprietary, if I can use the word proprietary, yeast that they use to make their bourbon. I'm talking about Four Roses. If we're going to talk about Four Roses, I compare Four Roses Bourbon to the Pokemon of bourbons, right? Because you almost got to catch them all. Let me explain. When you're drinking Four Roses or you're looking for Four Roses as a brand, keep in mind, they have 2 different mash bill and 5 yeast strain. So let's add to it that there's a big rick house where you have different temperature levels and years of the bourbon. All of a sudden, you end up actually having multiple one that you have to catch. Remember, 5 years ago when I got into bourbon seriously, I went to somebody's house and he had 55 bottle of Four Roses. I said, holy crap, what are you doing with this? And he said, I want to have them all, and I know my favorite. So enough about the description. Let's talk about each strain. So every time you look on a bottle of Four Roses, this is a typical bottle of Four Roses, you realize that there is something particular about it, especially if it's a private select. You will realize that on it, you will see something quite particular, the 10 recipes of Four Roses. And this applies to any Four Roses that you grab that always has the recipe on it. So, what makes it so interesting is because each different recipe is different based on literally the yeast strain that you get. So if the yeast strain is different, that means it's different. If the age adds to it, that means it's different. That means you can actually go around for the rest of your life collecting different Four Roses, right? Is it delicious? Yes. Each yeast strain have its own ability to manipulate the taste of Four Roses that you may get. So either you're getting OESK, or you getting OESF, or you get OESV, and multiple one of them. I can go on and on and on. You end up actually just getting a little slight taste, which makes it so interesting when it comes to tasting Four Roses. I never thought a day that I would talk about one brand, but that had so much different level of bourbon that they can offer you just based on yeast strain. So to even add salt to injury, if you actually are into Four Roses, every year they will release their barrel select small batch. So sometime they will go in and actually mix their own batch so you can actually have access to it. Every now and then, if you're lucky and you go to the store, you can see their small batch select, which here is 6 different strains that they blended together to give you one. I think my prized possession when it comes to Four Roses is probably the 130-year anniversary of the Four Roses 130 years. That's probably what I call my prized possession from 2018. But honestly, when it comes down to it, Four Roses is the only bourbon that truly you have to catch them all. So write in a comment, what's your favorite Four Roses? Which one do you like? What's your favorite yeast strain? What's your favorite one to actually drink. When it comes to it, I don't know. I personally like the OESF. That's my favorite that I always drink and truly enjoy. Cheers.